with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities. Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom.
Freedom Now movement, hear me. We are requesting all citizens to move into Washington, to go by plane, by car, bus, any way that you can get there. Walk if necessary. We are pushing for jobs, housing, desegregated schools. This is an urgent request. Please join.
The American Broadcasting Company continues its coverage of the March on Washington.
It's impossible to get a precise estimate of the crowd here, but it's certainly well over 25,000 now and swelling fast.
Congratulate all of you on the orderly, dignified manner in which you executed the march from the Washington Memorial. You have already told the world what we are here for and shown them by your courage, determination, and your order that we mean business. I give you now the Freedom Singers.
Thank you. And since we're all in this movement together, we'd like to ask you to raise your voices and sing with us and clap along with us. We shall not, we shall not be moved. We shall not, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree, against the planet, the water. We shall not be moved.
shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Good evening. I am Dr. Cynthia Mama J. Johnson, and thank you so much for being here this evening. The lyrics from the song, "We Shall Not Be Moved," could be heard throughout the civil rights movement. It's played a special place in the March on Washington. Music resonated throughout every valley, every mountain. And here it is, decades later. The performances remain some of the most iconic of the era. On August 28, 1963, 250,000 people rallied in Washington, D.C. for the March on Washington, for jobs and freedom, to demand the end to segregation, fair wages, and economic justice, voting rights, education, and the long overdue rights and protections of our civil rights. As buses pulled into Washington, D.C., and hundreds arrived via trains onto the National Mall, the gravity of the moment and the movement was clear. People traveled from every corner of the country to join the march. The unprecedented turnout was a testament of the power of planning. Civil rights leaders took to the podium to issue an urgent call to action that still resonates decades later. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of those leaders who could be seen marching and singing to bring about change. Tonight, we're going to learn about the change. I am so excited to introduce to you our host for this evening, who will continue the story of the March on Washington and Dr. King's I Have a Dream. January Jackson is a student at Lawrence High School and is an aspiring actor. They have a passion for theater and writing, but also advocacy. They want to go to college for the dramatic arts and hopes to provide a voice through their performances to those who don't feel seen or heard. Please welcome to the stage, January Jackson.
Good evening. My name is January Jackson, and I am honored to be your host in the 2024 One DREAM MLK Celebration. The theme, Together We Are the Dream, United as One Voice, was selected because the Student Equity Advisory Council wanted to touch on the unity necessary to move forward and combat racial injustice in our nation. The only way we can one day achieve Dr. King's dream is by working together. We are his dream because we have come so far since his speech in 1963. But we still have a long way to go, so we must stick together. The Student Equity Advisory Council focused on what themes would speak to the people most, which was initially difficult because there are many facets of Dr. King's speech. Ultimately, we did come together for the actual theme of this event by researching quotes from King's speech. During our speech, I learned a lot of facts I previously didn't know about Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, such as how Dr. King originally had a different speech planned. Mahalia Jackson was the one who inspired Martin Luther King to tell them about the dream. I think this fact shows that the speech indeed came from his heart. Tonight, you will see and hear different parts of the March on Washington and how Dr. King used his gifts of oratory to mobilize and incite nonviolent change in our world. Also, you will experience how Dr. King's words inspire the coming generation to move his dream forward. We begin with two significant national anthems during the civil rights movement as songs of protest, conviction, and joy. Billy Mills Middle School students will perform Lift Every Voice and Sing and the Star Spangled Banner. Please stand.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Southwest Middle School will now bring us a medley in honor of Dr. King and his lasting legacy entitled Like a Mighty Stream.
He was born in Atlanta and he died in Memphis. Although he lived for fewer than 40 years, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a profound and lasting influence on the crusade for civil rights in America. A staunch advocate of nonviolence, Dr. King famously had a dream that all persons would someday be treated equally, that persons of different races could be considered brothers, and that one day people would be judged by the substance of their character rather by the color of their skin. Sadly, bloodshed has too often been a part of the struggle for civil rights. Horrifying images of nightsticks, tear gas, snarling dogs, bombings, and riotous mobs still trouble us today. Dr. King was struck down by an assassin's bullet in 1968, tragically becoming a victim of the very violence to which he was so opposed. In 1977, Dr. King was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. A citation read in part, Martin Luther King Jr. was the conscience of his generation. He gazed upon the great wall of segregation and saw that the power of love could bring it down. He made our nation stronger because he made it better. His dream sustains us yet.
Next, we invite Dr. Anthony Lewis, Superintendent of Schools, to the stage to give us a welcome and opening remarks.
Good evening. I heard 4 people. Good evening. Thank you. First of all, welcome. This entire community of community members, partners with our school districts, parents, members that are part of our USD 497 family, our school board members. I know I saw 2 school board members. Are there any other school board members? I saw Kelly and Yolanda. Would you all please stand and be recognized? I can't see. I will tell you, I can't see who stood up because these lights are here. Any other elected officials in the House, would you please stand? And someone let me know if someone's standing. Okay. Again, thank you so much for braving the weather and coming out and to support this community event, our annual ML King One Dream Celebration. First of all, I want to thank our students. Obviously, the students that have performed and will be performing tonight, all the students that took part in the art exhibit out front. But most importantly, I want to thank our district Student Equity Council for their vision and their work on this amazing event. And that's what I want to just talk about briefly, the power of our children, the power of our children. And I certainly love this year's theme, Together, We Are the Dream, United as One Voice. And tonight, we honor the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, where Dr. King addressed the crowd there at the Lincoln Memorial and gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. This was in August 28, 1963. You know, this March on Washington did not happen just by happenstance. It didn't just happen. The March on Washington nor the I Have a Dream speech didn't just happen. As a matter of fact, it was on the verge of not happening. About 4 months earlier, toward the end of April 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and fellow leaders in the civil rights movement faced a grim reality in Birmingham, Alabama. With diminished support and fewer volunteers, their campaign to end segregationist policies were teetering on failure. In addition, there were many adults, their employers were telling them that if you participate in these acts, these demonstrations, you will potentially lose your job. And so with that diminished support, with the adults who were reluctant to participate in demonstration for fear of losing their jobs, but it wasn't until an unorthodox plan was implemented to recruit black children to march, the movement reversed itself, reinvigorating the fight for racial equality in what became known as the Children's Crusade or the Children's March. Now, in 1963, there were no cell phones, there were no emails, there were no social media, TikTok, the gram, none of that was out. So using only word of mouth, under the veil of secrecy, more than 4,000 black school-aged children organized to desert classrooms at exactly 11 a.m. on what they called D-Day, which was March 2nd, 1963. Now, D-Day was when students ditched class to march for justice. They left their schools to assemble at the 16th Street Baptist Church in disciplined groups of 50. Children singing freedom songs marched out of the 16th Street Baptist Church 2 by 2. When each group was arrested, another took its place. There were not enough cops to contain them. The police reinforcements were hurriedly summoned. The young people in Birmingham braved arrest, fire hoses, and police dogs in 1963 and brought segregation to its knees. And by the end of that day, almost 1,000 children had been arrested. The next day, Friday, March the 3rd, 1,000 more students cut class to assemble at the 16th Street Baptist Church. With the jails already filled to capacity and the numbers of marchers growing, Eugene Bull Connor, who was the Commissioner of Public Safety and was in charge of the police and the fire department, tried to suppress the movement with violence. Instead of arresting the first group of marchers, he ordered his fire department to disperse them with fire hoses. But, again, the power of children. The students held their ground, singing freedom to the tune of the ancient hymn, Amen. Bull Connor orders the water pressure to be increased to knock them off of their feet and wash them away. Still singing, the young protesters sat down on the pavement and hunched their backs against the torrent. In his book, School Clothes, a collective memoir of Black student witness, Jarvis Given stated that these events in Birmingham became an important turning point in the civil rights movement. The power of children. They moved President Kennedy to pass a comprehensive civil rights bill just 2 months later. In June 1963, in June of the following year, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, which outlined significant measures to dismantle Jim Crow segregation. The historical record is clear. It was the action of Black students that broke the back of Jim Crow in Birmingham, which is the most iconic segregated city in the country. Again, the power of children. The Children's March did not take place by happenstance. It was not a sporadic moment of Black student dissent. Black students learned that they inherited a mission to transform a world that failed to recognize their humanity. Or, as young folks say today, they were standing on business, or they understood the assignment. Just as our guest, Nikkolas Smith, writes and illustrates in The Artivist, when a young boy realized the scope of inequities in a wider world, he seized the moment with the urge to do more. He decided to use his skills and talents to become an artivist. And again, the Artivist is another example of young children to point out injustice in their lives and try to heal the broken bones of the world through art. In this example, Dr. King's life and death must not be in vain. We must not let his dream become a nightmare. In Carl Wendell Hines Jr.'s poem, A Dead Man's Dream, he says, "Now that he is safely dead, let us praise him. Dead men make such convenient heroes. It is easier to build monuments than to build a better world." He goes on to say, "So now that he is safely dead, we, with ease conscious, will teach our children that he was a great man, knowing that the cause for which he lived is still a cause, and the dream for which he died is still a dream, a dead man's dream." Even though Dr. King was dreaming, he was wide awake. And my question to you is, are you awake? Are we willing to let a dead man's dream die? We inherited this mission. And so I asked you, and I asked myself, do we understand the assignment? At this time, I would like to introduce Julie Boyle, who will present our first award, the Keeper of the Dream presentation. Please give a huge round of applause for the infamous Julie Boyle.
Good evening. I'm thrilled to have something to talk about besides the weather. Tonight's theme, Together We Are the Dream, United as One Voice, requires that we as individuals and Lawrence Public Schools collectively as a community of learners carry the dream forward through our daily actions. We invited each of our schools to select for recognition one student and one staff member who carry the dream forward. It's my privilege to introduce you to the first of three groups earning this year's Keeper of the Dream Awards. And I see they're following my instructions beautifully, coming on up. Please hold your applause until I introduce the entire group as they assemble for us here on stage. Keep on coming, gang. Representing Billy Mills Middle School, 8th grader Erika Rivera and library media specialist Jennifer Bonilla. Would you please hold your applause until we introduce the entire group? Thank you. Community Connections at Pinckney congratulates Anthony Watts. Cordley honors 2nd grader Robert Lamont Parker and English as a second language teacher Sarah Spray. From Deerfield, we welcome 5th grader Katie Moyle and kindergarten teacher Kristin Fisher. Representing Free State are Firebird senior Yael, Gillath, and English and theater teacher Bryce Jones. And Hillcrest 5th grader Luiza Gonzalez-Mendoza and 4th grade teacher Shelby Tosee round out this first group. Now let's hear it for this wonderful group of scholars, teachers, and staff. Dr. Lewis will present the Keeper of the Dream Awards with assistance from Hillcrest speech and language pathologist Annette Dabney and West Interim Principal Therese Edgecombe. Both are returning members of the One Dream Committee. And while they do that, pass out the awards, I want to tell you just a little bit about these award winners. So again, please hold your applause until all are honored. Jennifer Bonilla has been a vitally important part of moving equity work forward, developing the Intertribal Club, now 40 members strong, and helping Native American Student Services make in-school tutoring available to all students in the library. Erika Rivera is a model student, kind to her peers and all of the adults with whom she interacts. She represents Billy Mills Middle School wonderfully. Pinckney special education paraeducator Tatyana Younger could not be with us tonight, but we thank her for inspiring positive change and bringing others together in a shared journey towards social justice. A caring and creative young man, Anthony Watts helps others shine through his work experience helping at Cordley and teaching art lessons to his peers at Community Connections at Pinckney. He embraces challenges with bravery, understanding that they are opportunities to learn and grow. Sarah Spray helps all Cordley classroom teachers center the experiences of English language learners. She is an advocate for ELL families and their needs, a brilliant educator, and an extraordinary human being. Robert Lamont Parker inspires others to care for Cordley School, the community, and the environment, encouraging all of us to fight through hard things, to be brave, to be our best selves, and to care for our planet and the animals who share it with us. Deerfield's Kristin Fisher listens first to understand, then provides a perspective that helps foster a deeper understanding. She helps provide resources to ensure teachers provide an inclusive learning environment. Deerfield fifth grader Katie Moyle is compassionate toward all students, providing space for others' feelings and voices. Not only does Katie value the opinions of others, she knows the value of her own contributions and hard work. Firebird English and theater teacher Bryce Jones is a team player and does what is best for the organization as a whole, including changing positions last year because it was what was best for the students. As part of Free State Student Equity Team, senior Yael Gillath seeks to educate others about racism and bias and how it can be addressed at school so everyone feels safe. Hillcrest fourth grade teacher Shelby Tosee seeks ways to promote inclusivity and diversity, and as a member of the equity team, contributes to the development and implementation of various initiatives aimed at fostering a more inclusive and welcoming environment for all. An amazing student and kind and caring friend to all, Hillcrest fifth grader Luiza Gonzalez-Mendoza helps others and accepts everyone for who they are and what they bring to our school. Now's the time for some wild applause from the audience.
The next segment of our celebration focuses on the next generation and how they use their gifts to celebrate Dr. King's dream. Harrison Leisler will bring us an instrumental solo entitled "This Is Me." Next, we present the Dance Gallery with a performance celebrating their gifts of dance to incite change.
I'd live and die for love alone. I'd pull the sword out of the stone. My golden hair, a silver moon. Night would be returning soon. Wouldn't it be good if we grew together, love the way we should? Castles have been open for something to last instead of falling down, falling down. Oh, 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 oh. Castles, oh, 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 oh. On and on. Now I can feel I am free, like forever. Heart strong as steel and light as a feather. Oh, oh. I've been open for something to last instead of falling down, falling down. Oh, 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 oh. Castles, oh, 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 oh. On and on. Castles, 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 castles.
Dr. King's dream includes all of us. Please welcome Lawson Garcia and Nafena Favre to help us understand what this cultural perspective means today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lawson Garcia, and I am the current title holder of Senior Miss Indian Youth of Lawrence.
And I'm Nafena Favre, and I'm Junior Miss Indian Youth of Lawrence. Tonight, we're here to talk about the theme, Together, We Are the Dream, United as One Voice, specifically from the perspective of being young leaders in our communities.
To me, unity has always meant sticking up for everyone. As a young learner, this understanding of unity has carried me far in life. And yet, as I have grown not only as an individual, but as a mixed-race girl, I have begun to realize unity between cultures and communities is all about understanding each other.
Understanding the perspectives we bring to the large table of smaller communities that we surround ourselves with, as Junior Miss Indian Youth of Lawrence, I've been able to experience the want of bringing everyone together, not only within different aspects, but also to bring everyone together.
And to us, that is what our culture is all about, being united together. Even though we have our distinctive features that set us apart, like our tribes or even varying traditions. We all have undoubtedly a similar goal of keeping our culture alive and vibrant. That is how unity, or rather being unified, makes us such strong people. As a young girl, being able to learn not only about my tribe, but from others as well, this has been able to let me have an open mind, not only about the traditions set deep within my family, but also the community I surround myself with.
At events such as powwows, tribal gatherings, community events, and substance are huge parts of our cultures that unify us. As I grow up, I hope to continue spreading how we as a community are unified and will continue to be united through the good and the bad.
And that is how the dream includes all of us.
Let's meet some more amazing students and staff, and thank you for waiting until they have all been introduced and reached the stage, and here they come. Our second group of Keeper of the Dream Award winners include parents as teachers, parent educators, Stacie Daniels, representing Kennedy Early Childhood Center. From Langston Hughes Elementary, fifth grader Jayton Stuckey, and special education paraeducator Jennifer Boyle. Next, meet junior Bella Waggoner and math teacher Becky O'Keefe from the Lawrence College and Career Academy. Representing Lawrence High, our Chesty Lion senior Danny Phelan and special education teacher Heidi Woods. From Liberty Memorial Central Middle School, 8th grader Sydney Stump and special education paraeducator Kelly Spate. New York Elementary congratulates 3rd grader Mary Pope and Title I interventionist Amy Lakey. And representing the Prairie Park Bobcats, our 2nd grader LaShawn Mandel Kelly Jr. and 5th grade teacher Amber Sidwell. You can show this beautiful group of beautiful people some love. Dr. Lewis is back to present the Keeper of the Dream Awards, and let me tell you a little bit about them. Parent educator Stacie Daniels is a leader in PAT's work to encourage families to have open and honest conversations about race and diversity with our youngest learners, because parents are their children's first teachers, and these important life lessons begin at home. From Langston Hughes Elementary, 5th grader Jayton Stuckey is a welcoming and positive presence at Langston, demonstrating a willingness to work and interact with all classmates and serving as a positive role model to our younger Bobcats. Langston special education paraeducator Jennifer Boyle supports every child with a positive and calm manner. She is flexible, helpful, and a friend to all, working one-on-one with compassion and kindness. College and Career Academy junior Bella Waggoner demonstrates leadership and courage, expressing honest opinions openly and in a respectful manner, including requesting a meeting with county leaders to discuss and brainstorm improvements to youth empowerment and prevention activities. Since coming to the Academy from the virtual learning environment, math teacher Becky O'Keefe has made an immediate impact on students by personalizing instruction, building trusting relationships, and investing numerous hours of research and design lessons that meet students where they are and give them the confidence to be successful. Chesty Lion senior Danny Phelan works to unite LHS students and our community through his efforts with Student Council, journalism, IPS, the Adopt a Family Service Project, athletics, and our National Unified Sports Champion School. LHS special education teacher Heidi Woods is an original member of the school's equity team, has sponsored the Intertribal Club for years, and this year took the lead as a character-strong champion. Liberty Memorial 8th grader Sydney Stump is an excellent example of a young adult doing whatever it takes to promote positivity as a student leader in the classroom and on the stage. Her ethics, intellect, and justice-centered outlook will continue to make a positive difference. A longtime member of Liberty Memorial's special education team, paraeducator Kelly Spate is a constant advocate for all students, serving a diverse group of students and committed to doing whatever it takes to promote student learning for all. New York 3rd grader Mary Pope is a champion for every single classmate. No matter what her friends need, she is there to support and help them. She is kind every day and to everyone. Title I interventionist Amy Lakey is truly a partner to every New York student she encounters. She walks beside children in difficult situations and supports them to reach their goals. Despite being new to Lawrence and Prairie Park, LaShawn Mandel Kelly Jr. has quickly established himself as a positive leader, being genuinely kind and considerate to all, an excellent team player, and using his talents to lift up others. a genuine, caring educator. Prairie Park's Amber Sidwell takes responsibility for each and every child that walks through our school doors. She serves as their rock, connecting with them beyond the school day and the school year, watching them progress onto middle school and onto high school. All of these stars remind me that our future looks bright. Please join me in thanking and congratulating these award winners. Ms. Sidwell.
Liberty Memorial Central Middle School celebrated its 100th anniversary earlier this school year. Tonight, we welcome Excalibur to honor the legacy of the school and to honor Dr. King. Music played a significant role during the Civil Rights Movement. Pastor Willie Thornton will present a medley of songs from the March on Washington.
Good evening. I am Ishelowa Dedipe, and it is my honor to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Before I do so, I want to reflect on one of the most significant events from Dr. King's life. In his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King stated, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." As a drum major for peace, Dr. King used his gifts to make the world a better place for all of us. Dr. King's fight for equality and social justice continues today. Although he is no longer here, his message still can be seen and heard. Just as Dr. King was an activist, so too is our guest speaker for this evening. Nikkolas Smith is an artivist, children's book creator, and Hollywood film illustrator. He is the author/illustrator of several picture books, the USA Today best-selling The Artivist, the NAACP Image Award nominated The Golden Girls of Rio, and My Hair is Poofy, and That's Okay. Nikkolas is the illustrator of the #1 New York Times bestseller, The 1619 Project. Born on the Water, I Am Ruby Bridges, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, The Courage to Dream, and the award-winning That Flag. As an illustrator of color, Nikkolas is focused on creating captivating art that can spark important conversations in today's world and inspire meaningful change towards social justice and equity. Many of his viral and globally published sketches are included in this book, Sunday Sketch, The Art of Nikkolas. Born in Houston, Texas, Nikkolas lives in Los Angeles, California. Please welcome to the stage, Nikkolas Smith. Darling.
Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? Wonderful? Amazing? Okay, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to have a little art class today, okay? All right. Let's see here. Magic. Magic. There it is. Okay, so like was just stated, my name is Nikkolas Smith, and I'm an artivist, and I love to make art all the time. That's what I do. Every year, I create art of MLK on MLK Day, so I have a bunch. I'm going to show you some real quick. And I wanted to start with this quote that, from MLK that says, "Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." And it's really closely linked to, you know, his quote that says, "Justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And I feel like it's just so extremely important because we are one global community. We are one humanity, and all our actions matter, right? So there's some more stuff that I do. I do speed paintings, digital paintings, and we're gonna have an art class today. So we're gonna talk about some more art. So this is just a bunch of art that I've done for MLK. Here, 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 here. And that's me. Okay, so I've been talking to a lot of amazing students today about artwork and what art is, and I believe that everybody is creative. I absolutely, positively believe that. You all are creative. You all have something creative that you do, whether it's writing or dancing or singing or any of those things, drawing, any of those things. This is the stuff that I was making when I was 10 years old or whatever, psychedelic self-portraits. And right now, okay, I have an assignment for everybody, okay? It's homework, or you can literally do it right now. I want everybody to sketch. If you could literally sketch while I'm talking, or you can go home and sketch. But I know that when you were 10 years old, you were sketching something, so I want everybody to think about what that thing is that you were sketching and drawing when you were 10 years old. A lot of people stop drawing once they turn 11 or something, and they just do other things. But I want you to sketch, and not only sketch, I want you to sketch something in your community that you feel like is a positive vision, or something that you can, you know, make better in your community, something that you can do to help bring the world together. So think about that thing. And I'm going to proceed to talk about how I got here as an artivist. So I was telling the kids earlier today, after I decided to go to college, I said, I never was the type of kid to say, I want to be an artist when I grow up. I just thought, I don't know what all there is to do, so let's jump into some things. And architecture is what I landed on. I went to Hampton University in Virginia, studied architecture, found out about this company called Walt Disney, and I entered a competition called Imaginations. And they flew us out to California, and we went to the finals, and we presented, and by the time we graduated, we had internships. So I ended up becoming an Imagineer, and I designed theme parks for 11 years, all around the world, and it was beautiful and amazing and magical. And at the same time, I would go home and just make art all the time. And at some point along the way, I realized, oh, art is my passion. That's what I should be doing. And so now I'm a full-time artist, illustrator. I create concept art. I still do some concept architecture for Disney. I have a lot of picture books. These are my babies. I love them. And I'll talk about those soon. I do movie posters for films and concept art for films. I was the first concept artist on these films. And I was talking to the kids also earlier today about how the beauty of concept art is like there's a script, a bunch of words, and then you have to make some art. You have to make a visual of what is this thing gonna look like before it's completed. And that's kind of how we do also with the world. Like this thing in the world isn't working right. How can we make it better? So we were talking about like LeBron James as a Looney Tune and all these things, fun things. I also worked on Wakanda Forever, the film. And I had a chance to make a line at Target of Black superheroes, which was unbelievable because there were thousands of kids walking in Target and able to see themselves represented in a super wonderful way. And it was just a beautiful highlight for me in my career. They even made toys, which is crazy. Okay, also I love to make superheroes, I will say. I make superheroes a lot. I made the Obama family as Incredibles. That was really fun. He laughed, they laughed. He sent me a thank you letter, which is crazy. I was blown away. I think I passed out. That was crazy. And then people were like, well, you did an awesome Incredibles thing. You should do like a syndrome thing too. So I did one of that guy. And he didn't laugh. He blocked me on social media. That was a thing. Whatever. It happens, yeah. But then that guy, he likes my artwork a little bit more. He follows me on Instagram, so we're like best friends now. So I just really love to make art that is, like representative of iconic moments in history, but kind of like heroic times. But also at the same time, like I often think about like the young folks in South Central Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles, and just like 15 minutes south of where I live, there's all these amazing kids who, not a lot of people go to this part of town, but I think they should because these kids are amazing. And we talk a lot about altruism and the fact that these kids have altruism. It's not about like how fast you are, how strong you are, but what do you do with the power that you have? That's what separates a superhero from a supervillain, And so a lot of times we'll make, images and a lot of different art pieces that they can look up to and be inspired by. Make a lot of art of on and off screen superheroes like Chadwick Boseman, who was just a legend. And when I was on the set of Black Panther, he treated us like heroes. And I often think about like how his heart for people and how he would always reach down to the generations below him and try to pull everybody up, which was unbelievable. And so a lot of times with my portraits, I want to carry on that voice, especially if that voice is no longer around. Like I want the art to be kind of that thing that keeps, the memory alive. And so that got me thinking a lot about, different moments that I can commemorate in history. And there was one moment where, all these Confederate statues were being taken down, and they were like, well, what can be put in their place? And there's so many stories like this. This is Robert Smalls, who was literally born enslaved, escaped slavery, and became a U.S. congressman. It's like, why wasn't that in my textbooks, I grew up in Texas, and I learned about, like, Davy Crockett and Alamo and all these things, and I'm like, I should have been learning about this guy. Like, why wasn't he in the textbooks? And so we're just constantly trying to show the kids that they are super, they are heroic, they can do amazing things. This is Mia. She loves Wonder Woman. And so just the idea of like doing like even like little paint-overs where you can show the kids as superheroes, it really does something. It changes their outlook. Like it really helps make them feel that they can do anything. So we love doing stuff like that, but also putting the pen in their hands. I showed the kids earlier digital painting and how you can really like start to create your own characters. You can create your own environment. This is their gym, and it's interesting. Like there's a place called SpaceX where they are building literally rockets that are going to outer space, like 10 minutes from Watts. And this is right down the street, and this is their gym. And I always talk to the kids like, you can have something that is better than this, but you can design it yourself. Like nobody's coming to redesign your space for you. So we look at like, what if there was vertical gardens, or what if there was like an education center here? Like you have the power to do all these things. And so when you put the tools in the kids' hands, it really just does beautiful things. And so sometimes we're just showing them positive images, joyful images of chief technology officers like Shuri in Black Panther, or literally going to space because SpaceX is right down the street from them. All those types of things, we try to just really instill in the kids and show them that you can do anything. Everything that I do I consider it artivism. It is art and activism. And so that is really like, it is trying to create art that inspires people to make a positive change. So it really is off of Nina Simone's quote that says, it's an artist's duty to reflect the times. Like, I could paint about, like, at one point I was, making art about Disneyland and churros and roller coasters, and that's great, but, like, also there's all these things that are happening in the world. I'm like, I have to talk about what is happening, what are the broken bones, the things that aren't working right in the world, and put that in my artwork. And then there's also a Dr. King quote that says, you have to make a career out of humanity. If you center humanity in whatever it is that you do, it might not necessarily be art specific, but whatever it is you do, like center humanity. And so there was a moment in 2013, if I can go back almost 11 years, there was a hoodie movement happening. Trayvon Martin's killer was found not guilty. Everybody was wearing the hoods, and we were talking about, what would it look like if, iconic leaders were wearing hoodies right now, and I did Dr. King in a hoodie, and something crazy happened. Like, I think Van Jones shared it on Twitter, and then it went viral, and then all of a sudden, it was everywhere, and before you know it, like, I was asked to go on CNN to talk about it, and that was the moment that really the whole artivism thing began for me. It was actually the time that the Black Lives Matter movement began. This weekend was the weekend that the Black Lives Matter movement began. And that was the realization for me that, like, one art piece can change everything and get people talking about very important things. At the same time, that was the hardest weekend of my entire life. I felt like at the time, I was going through a divorce. It was very tough. I wanted to move back to Texas, but my friend encouraged me to just keep making art. This was actually the first sketch that I did at that time. I decided I'm gonna make one art piece every Sunday and just keep making art and keep making art. And so it was literally a process of me learning digital painting, but also just using art as therapy. A lot of times I talk about how, even for the people anybody who says that, like, oh, I'm not an artist, I haven't made any art since I was little, make some art. Like, go home and make some art. It is very therapeutic, it's very wonderful. This was after a year of my Sunday sketches, and I started to look at all the things that were happening in the world, and just making art about that, whether it was wildlife conservation, environmentalism, immigration, mass incarceration. There were people who were literally being turned away at the border, people who are just trying to, escape terrible times wherever they are from and make a better life for their kids, right? And we all say, I would do anything for my kids, right? These people were just trying to do something, for their family. And I want to show in my portraits a lot of times the humanity in people. And so this particular one was on the bottom left is Rosa and her kids who were at the border. And they eventually found a place in California. But looking at immigration, looking at mass incarceration, which we are number one in America at mass incarceration, unfortunately. Mass shooting, tragedies, suicide prevention, community outreach, global health, which has been huge, especially in the pandemic. There were nurses with trash bags because they didn't have the proper equipment. And my art often asks questions like, why is it like this in America if we have, we're supposed to have all this wealth and all this power and everything, but nurses have trash bags. And then there's also people like Jesus in the middle here, who he was a frontline worker saving lives during the pandemic, but he was under threat of deportation, going back to a place that he's never known, and he's a DACA recipient. Looking also at global peace, which is so huge right now, looking at the fact that there are all of these, genocides happening, whether it's Congo, Sudan, Gaza, all these things. We have to be loud about that, and I talk to young kids all the time about don't be afraid to speak out about things that are not right. And there's so many things about the wars that are happening that need to end, and we have to do whatever we can. I know sometimes it feels hopeless, but we have to do whatever we can to try to stop these things. Racial injustice is really big for me. I created these pieces, and Michelle Obama shared them on Twitter, and that was another moment in 2020 where everything just went viral, and people were putting signs all around the world, putting my art on signs, whether it was Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Tatyana Jefferson, all these different people, Mike Brown. Year after year, this is now 10 years of Sunday Sketches for me, but year after year, all these moments kept popping up where it's just like people are, especially black people in America, are so systematically dehumanized that it creates these environments where unfortunately they are no longer here and they should be here still. This is another one. This is my great-great-great-great-grandparents in Galveston, Texas. And theoretically, the day before this picture was taken, they were considered as property or less than human. And that blows my mind. It makes no sense. And again, my portraits, I want them to look at you in the face. I want you to look at them in the eyes, even in a painting, to see the humanity in people and to see that these were amazing people. These were wonderful, beautiful people. And it makes no sense to me that they were dehumanized in this way. And so at this point, after about 7 years of making Sunday Sketches, I got an email and that was asking me if I wanted to illustrate a children's book about slavery. And I was like, whoa. Yes, absolutely, I would love to do that. It was the 1619 project, Born on the Water, and it was a dream project for me because I had the opportunity to paint my ancestors in Central West Africa in the Kingdom of Ndongo, before slavery, before the whips and chains and all the terrible things, to talk about these beautiful people, but also show the resistance and all the years of fighting that was done to win their freedom back. And the beautiful lives that came after that, from Frederick Douglass to Billie Holiday to George Washington Carver, all these amazing people. And that's a special project for me. And also, I was able to do a book with Ruby Bridges. And that was just super iconic, just to visualize, we kind of went back into her 6-year-old mind. It was like, what was it like walking in that school and being the first black kid to integrate schools? And, maybe seeing the wall of class photos where it's just decades and decades of kids who don't look like you. And then, whoop, there you are, first chocolate baby in schools. It's just a beautiful thing. And she's so funny. She really, at the time, she was just I don't know, it seems weird to me. I don't really know what's going on, but I'll go along with it. But she was so iconic as a bridge for all of these racial disparities. We got a chance to talk to some kids about it in Memphis. And a lot of times when I'm reading this book to kids, they often are like, so Ruby Bridges is still alive? I'm like, yep, she's still alive, kids. This was not that long ago that this happened. But she is really wonderful, amazing person. I also have a book about Wakanda, because I love Wakanda. And this book is more inspirational. It's this young Wakandan girl who has a disability and she wants to be part of the Dora Milaje, and she finds the courage to do that, and that's a fun one. And then I have a book about the Confederate flag. If you're noticing a theme, like there's a lot of my books are banned in some parts of the country, but I'm okay with that. I feel like I need to talk about American history. I need to talk about things that are, that are happening that don't often get talked about. But this book it's beautiful. It's by Tamika Fryer Brown, and it really is about these two girls who, they're best friends, and their friendship is tested by the appearance of the Confederate flag and learning about that history. And the little black girl learns about, all the things that were done in the name of this flag, from the Civil War to racism against marchers and protesters and organizers, Dr. King. It's really a beautiful story. But I love that I can, visualize these moments in history in a way, especially in a way that's accessible for young kids. But for all, I say the books are for ages 3 to 103. Like, it's for everybody. My latest book is called The Artivist, and it really is all of that 10 years of artivism kind of just crammed into a picture book. And it starts off with this young kid who, we were talking about this earlier, a kid who's an artist but an activist, and he has to combine those parts of him to become an artivist. And I just love that, books like this, it can talk about the fact that we do need to care for our communities. We need to look at those communities that might not have, clean water, that might not have all the fresh fruits and vegetables that they need. Like, how can we make art to tell people about these issues? How can we make art to tell people that it's actually important to protect the earth? Like, it's important to do these things. It's important to talk about housing inequality. It's important to talk about voting rights. It's important to talk about the fact that Black lives do matter. These are important things. It's important to talk about the fact that trans kids need to be protected. These are very important things. It's important to talk about the fact that even one child is more important than all of the guns in the world. Like, that shouldn't be an issue that's up for debate, And I love that we can talk about those things. And it really has been an honor for me to be able to go around the country and talk with students about these issues, about how love is a verb, it is an action. We were talking about that in the schools today. Love is a verb. It is something that is protecting, it is protesting, it is giving, it is, helping, all of these things, that it really wasn't a passive thing. And that's one thing that Dr. King always tried to stress. So this is a very, even, the idea of nonviolence, the idea that it's really not a passive thing. Like, this is an active, very difficult, very important thing that we all need to do. And so I'm always trying to figure out ways that in our communities that we can do these active forms of love, and that we can talk to young kids about this. And I would love for everybody to join me in finding ways to do that. It's been an honor, and I love to also talk about how Dr. King had a quote that says that love is the most durable thing in the world. It is the strongest thing, and if we can instill that, and if we can get people to talk about that and find ways to, put that in their community, we're only going to be better off. So I encourage everybody to do whatever they can to love today, and don't forget your homework assignment. I want to see those sketches on my desk Monday morning. Do those things and make sure to love today. Thank you so much. It's my time.
Thank you, Nikkolas, for sharing your gift and your story. Coming to the stage now is our third and final group of student and staff members earning this year's Keeper of the Dream Awards. And thank you again for holding your applause until they are all introduced. We're going to meet Quail Run 5th grader Charlotte Spreer and autism teacher Alexandra Smith. Here they come. Representing Schwegler, 5th grader Emma Anderson, and special education paraeducator Brandy Flissrum. Southwest Bulldogs 6th grader Hope Turner and theater teacher Trish Averill Nudeboom. From Sunflower, 1st grader Macklin Doolin and English as a second language and special education paraeducator Elvira Shavira. Representing the Sunset Hill Eagles are Callie Cochran and art teacher Michelle Salmons. West Middle School recognizes 8th grader Darby Bates and social studies teacher Eve Lose. And Woodlawn congratulates our youngest award winner, kindergartner Zeddy Mumford, and administrative assistant Rachel Thompson. Now please join me in congratulating these amazing young people and their teachers. Dr. Lewis, Mrs. Dabney, and Mrs. Edgecombe will present our final student and staff keeper of the Dream Awards, and here are just a few reasons their schools selected them. Autism teacher Alexandra Smith organizes activities that unite the Quail Run team, such as monthly Special Olympics events. She creates a safe space for all, and her words and actions make clear the importance of inclusion. Quail Run 5th grader Charlotte Spreer uses her voice to advocate for social justice. Concerned about equity for all, she cares deeply and puts others before herself. Representing Schwegler, special education paraeducator Brandy Flissrum is a champion for equity every day and serves as a passionate leader of our school's equity team. Schwegler 5th grader Emma Anderson consistently shows kindness to others, working toward positive solutions and interactions among peers. She is always a cheerleader for our school and for the success of others. Southwest theater teacher Trish Averill Nudeboom has led our student equity team for 5 years, spending countless hours building relationships, navigating interactions, and guiding students through personal and peer-related equity issues. She is a force for equity at our school, and we have grown as a staff and improved our school culture because of her efforts. Bulldogs 6th grader Hope Turner goes out of her way to help others, encouraging classmates to behave positively and engage in activities and conversations that have already enhanced our school community. Sunflower students seek out and love working with English as a second language and special education paraeducator Elvira Shavira, who is consistently willing to lend a hand and serves as a breath of fresh air to our school. Sunflower 1st grader Macklin Doolin embodies the spirit of the theme in every aspect of his life. He's a peer mediator, guiding peers toward being stronger, more understanding, and better problem solvers. He's a beacon of light for his classmates. Sunset Hill art teacher Michelle Salmons recognizes that school has a ripple effect for our students of color. She sees everyone at our school as a capable leader and pushes Sunset Hill to be a place where everyone feels loved, supported, and seen. Callie Cochran loves everyone exactly as they are. A friend to all, she's a leader with an empathetic heart and enthusiastic spirit who takes risks for the greater good of our Sunset Hill School family. West Middle School social studies teacher Eve Lose cares deeply for students, and it shows in her every interaction, laughing, encouraging, pushing for greater connections to learning, to each other, and to higher ideals, seeing students' strengths and building on them. Everyone who knows West 8th grader Darby Bates loves him. He's an absolute joy, always upbeat and eager to learn with a ready smile for everyone, offering compliments, making us laugh, and building inclusivity through true kindness. Woodlawn congratulates Administrative Assistant Rachel Thompson, who works circles around most of us, wearing many hats and always is a calming presence. She is an expert with kids and an advocate for all. Finally, our youngest Keeper of a Dream Award winner, and we need to finish up because it's probably nearing your bedtime. Woodlawn kindergartner Zeddy Mumford displays a wonderful dedication to her learning with a positive attitude, warm smile, and support for her classmates. Her love of kindergarten and our class is inspiring. Our hope for tomorrow is on this stage and in our classrooms today. Please join me in thanking these outstanding students, teachers, and staff, Keeper of the Dream Award winners.
Working collaboratively with different organizations and businesses in the Lawrence community is important to the work we complete each day in our schools. At this time, Dr. Anthony Lewis will present our Community Partner Keeper of the Dream Awards.
When our team thought about the school district partners that embodies tonight's theme, together we are the Dream, united as one voice, there were two long-standing community partners and organizations that came to mind. One, the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department School Resource Officer Program, and our friends at Burt Nash Community Mental Health Center. As Chief of Police Rick Lockhart and members of the School Resource Officer team come to the stage, let me share how truly fortunate our school community is to work with an SRO team the caliber of this one. The National Association of School Resource Officers has honored this team with its Model Agency Award for excellence in training, policies, and standards. You all can come center stage. Yes, everybody see you. The Kansas Juvenile Officers Association named as Kansas SROs of the Year Lieutenant Myron Grady, who's a former SRO, and current Sergeant Shelby Brohard and Corporal Casey Wiltz. At a time when budget cuts are low and needs are high, the Lawrence Police Department didn't eliminate but expanded its SRO program from both high schools to all 4 of our middle schools. Ask our students and you'll find out that they know, like, and look up to their SROs. And that's because these officers establish meaningful relationships with our scholars and work to become a trusted adult or mentor and resource for all of our students and families. They teach families about crisis planning and how to keep their children safe on the internet. They warn our scholars about the dangers of fentanyl. They help our staff support students who have experienced trauma so that we can handle them with care. They host police camps and teen police academies to educate and mentor children and youth. They are seen by our scholars not as people to be feared, but as father figures and aunties who are there for them. They work to prevent minor issues from becoming major ones, keeping youth out of the criminal justice system whenever possible, and keeping our schools and communities safe. Thank you to Sergeant Aubrey Collado, Corporals Casey Wiltz and Dean Kempernan, Officers Lindsay Bishop, James Browning, and Bailey Salisbury, and Officer Danny Alfalter, who could not be here tonight, Lieutenant Myron Grady, and Chief Rick Lockhart. I am pleased to present your team with this year's Community Keeper of the Dream Award.
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Lewis for his unwavering support for this program, and also for the board who supported the program as well. SRO programs have kind of gone through waves of being popular and unpopular, and the one thing we could always count on here was his support. And I think the reason we could count on that support is because of the amazing officers that we have in our schools protecting our kids, and not just protecting them, as you heard. Sometimes they're a friend, sometimes they're a shoulder to cry on, sometimes they're an ear to listen, and other times they're a mouth for a word of encouragement. So I'm proud to accept this award on behalf of all the wonderful work that these folks do, and thank you very much, Dr. Lewis.
As they make their way back to their seats, I'd like to invite CEO Patrick Smith and members of the Burton Nash Community Mental Health Center to please join me on stage. You know, supporting the health and well-being of our students is a huge job and one that our schools cannot accomplish alone. Burton Nash RAP therapists collaborate with our school counselors, social workers, nurses, school psychologists, and other student support staff to serve students and families and connect them with the community resources that they need. They teach mental health first aid so that every individual willing to learn can have a basic level of understanding of how to help others in need. They assist students and families in crisis and continue to expand the community's ability to provide crisis response, treatment, and recovery options for young people and adults when they need it most. Our partnership with Burton Nash Mental Health Team fits tonight's theme because together we are the Dream United as one voice. I want to present the Keeper of the Dream Award to CEO Patrick Smith with a sincere thanks and invite him to introduce the members of his team and say a few words. Patrick.
Friends and community members, I am deeply honored to accept the 2024 Community Keeper of the Dream Award on behalf of the Burton Nash Community Mental Health Center. This recognition is not just an acknowledgement of our efforts, but a celebration of the enduring partnership between Lawrence Public Schools and the Burton Nash Center in fostering the health and well-being of our community. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Of all the forms of inequality, injustice, and health is the most shocking and inhumane." These words resonate powerfully today as we continue our commitment to providing crucial services through programs like RAP, case management, parent support, mental health first aid, and school crisis response. It is a testament to the shared dream of creating a community where every individual, regardless of their background, can thrive in both mind and spirit. As we gather under the theme, Together, we are the Dream United as one voice, commemorating the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington and Dr. King's iconic I Have a Dream speech, let us be reminded that our collective efforts amplify the voices of those in need. This award is not just a recognition of the past achievements, but a call to continue the dream of unity, compassion, and equitable access to mental health support for all. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Lawrence Public Schools, the Student Equity Council, and everyone involved in this celebration. Together, let us continue to be the keepers of the dream, working towards a healthier and more compassionate community. Thank you. And I'm actually let my staff introduce themselves, so come on over here.
Nicole Stafford, Director of Child and Family Services.
I'm Grace McMillan, and I'm a RAP Program Manager.
I'm Cassie Crakes, and I am the RAP Case Manager.
And I'm Anna Spoyer. I'm the Director of School-Based Services.
One more huge round of applause for our Lawrence Police Department and our partners at Burton Nash. Now, when you hear me say our schools can't do this work alone, many times our scholars come to school with many variables, and it's our partners like this that really help us support our scholars and make sure that they are ready to learn, and we are we are continuing with our mission at Lawrence Public Schools. Speaking of partners, I would like to introduce Ms. Erika Hill. Erika Hill is a strategic and compassionate healthcare leader, serving as LMH Health's Health Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity Director and the Finance and Strategic Initiatives Director of the LMH Health Foundation. It also has been my great fortune to work with Erika during her although she recently completed her 4-year term of service with our Lawrence Board of Education. Erika was here last year. She was accepting an award, the 2023 One Dream Community Illuminator Award, on behalf of LMH Health and its innovative Summer Leadership Academy that she helped develop, or she definitely developed. This year, Erika's here on behalf of LMH to sponsor 2 special awards. Please help me welcome to the stage Ms. Erika Hill.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis, and good evening. On behalf of LMH Health, I have the honor of presenting the inaugural LMH Health One Dream Award. This award recognizes students who have demonstrated leadership with humility and compassion for others. This award will also come with a $100 gift. The LMH Health One Dream Award goes to January Jackson and Yael Gillath.
I'd just like to thank everybody who supported me, especially my parents, my mom, and my dad, Wayne Jackson and Adrienne Morales Jackson. They've been supporting me since I was born, obviously, but I did not expect this at all. But I'm just so grateful for everyone who has gotten me to where I am right now. So, thank you.
I apologize. I lost my voice very recently, and I'm still recovering. But I'd like to thank also my parents and family, but also Miss Jackson, who is my school sponsor for the Free State Equity Team, who is one of the most passionate and strongest women I have ever known. And she's here tonight, and I would love if she would be recognized, because I couldn't do as much as I do without her.
Congratulations to all of our Keeper of the Dream Award recipients. Let's give everyone another round of applause. Also, thank you to our special guest, Nikkolas Smith, the Artivist, for his inspiring message. We appreciate everyone attending tonight. Thank you to each person who played a part in this evening's success, including students who completed artwork for the gallery, school librarians who showcased culturally sustaining materials from our school libraries, all performers, speakers, and volunteers, and our guest musician, Bruce Kerr, for providing music throughout our celebration. Please join us in the lobby for a book signing by Nikkolas Smith, refreshments, and to enjoy the gallery immediately following the finale. We bring our 2023 One Dream MLK Celebration, Together We Are the Dream, United as One Voice, to a close with an instrumental rendition of What a Wonderful World, presented by members of the Lawrence High School Chamber Orchestra, and words to remind us what it takes to make the lyrics of the song a reality.